bucket here. Today I wanted to go over the HRT AWLS, and so that stands for Advanced Weapon Light System. I know sounds a little bit much, but hang in there. And then so what makes it unique is the ODA, and that's the Omni Directional Activator, and that's the last acronym. So keep on going. So what makes that cool? I'll show a little demo here. So it doesn't matter which way you push down, push up, left, right, Omni in that kind of 360 zone, and if you push it like a tail cap, it will turn to constant on. And so I thought that was pretty cool, something different, something more showing off. And it was kind of, I'm sure HRT's tired of hearing about it, where one of my first inquiries was like, oh, can you put a pressure switch on it? And it's kind of defeating the point. So what they're going for is kind of a mid-range, so it's quality, but they want it good to go out of the box where you're not spending too much. So it's like $300 range for the longer one is a 18650 version, and this is the shorter 18350 version. And so the runtime on the shorter one's about 30-ish minutes, and then I think 100 minutes on the long one. And so I was thinking of just tossing on something here for this home defense build. So I like kind of a shorty setup, and I thought it'd be a good fit. So this isn't a night vision build, but just going over the concept. So now a lot of people, they're getting pretty fancy with their switches and how much activation they're getting. So like say you got a nice night vision setup, so then you got pressure switch for laser, pressure switch for flood, and then it's like you got to find another switch somehow for your white light, but then you're also messing with all the cables for all that. It can get pretty hectic pretty quick. Usually the pressure stuff is a little more finicky than a classic button. And also, say you're doing long range night vision action, usually don't even want white light at all. So it can be nice to just separate where it's a totally different button pressing zone. And that was kind of another thing HRT was looking into. Doing a zoom shot here so you can better see what's going on. So this is the most intuitive mount for me. I like a C-clamp grip, and you can see my thumb can just kind of ride the body without having to worry about accidental activation. That said, you can just do like a quarter quickie turn to the tail cap, and that'll lock it out. Good for just general use or travel, making sure the light doesn't turn on. That said, when it is time, you can easily move the thumb back and then just get a quick press. Doesn't matter if it's exaggerated, half-assed, pretty easy for me to activate. And I like how the body is direct to M-lock. It's pretty nice. It's pretty tight within reason. Some people may want like a suppressor setup, and then so you're pushing it, might want to use an accessory to push everything forward, but this makes sense for the default. There's an alternate mount option, so forgive me, I don't have a full-on foregrip, but if you're coming out of the 2000s, here's a quick demonstration. So you grab it here, and then easy to push down or push in, get that kind of lower mount style. Showing what all comes with the shorty version here. So you get a classy box on the inside, get a thank you card, USB cable to go direct into the battery. This appears to be USB micro style. A little short, but at least you get something. And then your big show, the light itself. Let me dig in here. So it's all ready to go out of the box. Just got to mount it. And on that note, for extra pieces, you get your screw mounts for the M-lock mount. And finally, some extra discs to adjust the sensitivity of that press cap switch. Get into more of that later. And for some extras, they sent a fun patch, which I don't believe is normally included, and a heads up to change out your pressure discs. You will need a hex wrench. Going over a parts breakdown, we start with the core head, which is pretty nice that it can be purchased on its own, and it's compatible with some of the popular dual fuel setups such as Surefire, Modlite, and Arisaka. Moving on to the middle, so you have your core body, which can be rotated to make it very ambi, so it doesn't matter which side the head or the tail go on, so you can be crafty with how you mount it. This example of the included 18350 battery. It's pretty cool how they've started to integrate the USB port in these types of batteries. Cool new tech. And here's your tail cap, which, surprising to me, includes a real deal classic push tail cap. And to set the system apart is the ODA pressure switch, which works with the tail cap, and that gives you the fancy Omni Directional Activation. So the heights are pretty subtle, but the disc gives you little helpers on the back. So you got negative for harder to press, dot for standard, and plus for easier to press. If that still gets confusing, you can think the more material, the easier it will be for the trigger to activate. So it's a little tricky to show sensitivity, but an attempt here. So this is the lightest touch disc. All right, I'll do a slow press. And again. And you can go in any direction. This is just the easiest to show the camera. And the medium default. A little further. And then the last disc with a negative sign. It's about there. For a quick tip, you want to make sure and screw down that inner screw nice and tight. Otherwise, you can kind of get this going on where you can unscrew it off. And so you don't want none of that while you're out adventuring. If you do it on tight, it won't matter which way you turn it and you'll be okay. Quick outside. So we got surefire backup. Purposefully mostly spill. Very wide, no hot spot. HRT, the hot spot. Get that distance. Another outside shot. So we got backup. Mostly spill. No hot spot on purpose. HRT. Really kick it deep out there. Indoor low lightish sample. Backup. HRT. So this ends up being more of a first impressions video. I didn't get to blast it a bunch yet, but Tactical Considerations actually did a video, and he shot it up quite a bit. So I think that's a good start to showing durability, and it's HRT, so they're pretty squared away folks, not particularly worried about it. I would say just offhand feels like a nice, well-built tactical light. Like the finish and fit, everything's nice. For smaller details, say like the texturing, I think it's got a modern, cool look to it. The knurling didn't get too rowdy where, say, like older style small knurling gets filled up with dirt pretty quickly. So I'm able to turn whatever I want to turn. I like the body going straight to the mount. It's nice. The internal springs are nice and heavy duty. There's a lot of tension. Adds confidence. I'm not worrying about battery jiggle. For small stuff, the white logos I could do without. It's pretty petty, but I'd rather have indentations and then a consistent color coat. But overall, you know, it's a nice light as is, but then with the ODA switch, I think that really makes it stand out for something new and worth checking out. So hopefully you felt the same way, and thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to support us, please check out the MIL-SPEC Monkey Store. Although known for morale patches, we also specialize in a good selection of DIY hardware and tactical accessories.